Welcome to Hashtag with Nabu. This is a place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, emotional well-being, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, consider this your virtual home. I'm your host, Nabu, and I cannot wait to engage with you in the various conversations. Christmas for most people is about joy, happiness, and merrymaking. December does not go by without you hearing Merry Christmas wishes. For the longest period of my existence, I had never imagined there are people who will not be excited about the coming of the Christmas season. My memories around it as a child were all about food, visiting my beautiful grandmother, may she rest in peace, who made sure that I was the one to eat the liver from the chicken. They were always ready before the whole meal, so she called me to the kitchen to devour them. Christmas cards were exchanged in that period. I was 12 when I got to know the real name of one of my beloved non-biological parents. From infancy, he had called me Brown, and so did I him. It was for him to tease me about my dark complexion, but I do not think I returned the name to him in the same spirit. I just ended up calling him Brown, and then on the Christmas of 2005, I had to ask Mom who Dr. Freddy was, only to find out that it was my Brown, and I do not know why I never imagined he had a real name. Christmas tapped into the deepest of joys in everyone's heart around me, or so I imagined. But now here I am as an adult, and the commonest thing I have read or heard from the people I know here in Uganda or those in Nigeria, Kenya, Rwanda, or Zambia is a common dialogue around pre-planned responses, savage ones, surrounding the inquiry into why they have not carried along their plus ones to the festivities. It reminds me of a time when I was seated next to my favorite cousin. We were having a great conversation like we always do, and my uncle, his father, asked me to sit somewhere else and brought my cousin's fiance to take over my seat. He started pairing the ones who had partners and asked those without partners to iron out their relationship issues and be serious. I kid you not. It was in the spirit of humor, but many a times we cross boundaries in our effort to be funny. How many of us know about a family member who attempted suicide when their relationships ended? Some months ago, I shared about a border man who told me about his ordeal and how he contemplated suicide when his longtime lover decided that he was no longer the one for her. With our line of questioning or jokes, how often do we wonder whether we may be triggering someone who is going through a wave of emotions we may not even be able to understand or even help them with? If the person you ridiculed for their lack of a partner told you that they tried to die by suicide over a failed relationship, what would you say to them? Do you have any healthy emotional work plans to help them back on their firm feet, or is it just all about fun and games for you? Have you for a second thought about how your imperceptive intrusiveness may be the straw that breaks the camel's back, that will assure someone that they are indeed less than and should therefore go through with their suicidal plans? You can only make a joke when you're fully aware of one's emotional ability to sustain jokes or inquiries surrounding something personal. And on this, my heart goes out to the women who are struggling with anxiety of being reminded of how unserious they are about birthing a child or how time is running out for them. Yet she has seen the hope of having a child constantly slipping through her hands with the many miscarriages that she has had to deal with. I also sympathize with the woman who is worried about her in-laws' demanding eyes that will make her mind create a montage of the multiple visits to the fertility specialists that have not yet yielded any sustainable results. For some families, this festive season comes with a reminder that a family has grown smaller. And it is also evident in the seasonal family photographs in which one or more family members' faces are no longer seen. What should have been a joyous Yuletide instead reawakens or intensifies grief for those who have lost people who were largely part of their seasonal experiences. There are other people whose pre-existing mental health struggles are exacerbated by the Christmastide. Owing to the social construct and belief that Christmas is supposed to be a period characterized strictly by positive emotions, when it comes to someone who is already struggling mentally or emotionally, such never-ending reminders that they are supposed to be joyful, cheerful, happy, and in the mood to celebrate with family can make them feel worse. These feelings of intense sadness, hopelessness, worthlessness, low energy, and anxiety are deepened by the intensity that comes with the season and are harder to deal with at Christmas when everyone around you seems to be in a good mood, yet you cannot withdraw from them because, again, it is the season to catch up with loved ones. There are some among us who are supposed to brave the overwhelming emotions that come with sharing space with an uncle, a cousin, grandfather, father, or brother who sexually molested them. For them, Christmases are barely about merrymaking, but constantly looking for safe corners to cry and let out the pain of watching their abusers living full lives. Corners safe enough for them to sob freely so that they can ably return in pretense to the rest of the family to blend in, smile, and make merry as the culture demands. You may not have found anyone to open up to, living in fear yet in anger that no one would believe you, but I would like to let you know that even if you haven't found someone you think would believe your ordeal, I believe you. To the one whose family chose to protect your abuser and rebuked you for being ridiculous, I am heartily sorry that you haven't yet figured out how best to call them out for being enablers of sexual abuse and for failing to protect you in what should have been considered the primary source of safety. To everyone who is struggling to find joy in this season, this journal is here to let you know that you are seen and that your inner cry is loud enough for me to hear. And however hard this may be, I would like for you to practice kindness to yourself. Give yourself the grace to remove yourself from these sickening environments. Again, I know how hard and complex this would be, but you deserve to be heard and seen as opposed to your experiences being trivialized. Namaste.